Rev up your engines!
I can't help but laugh. I'm reading this CNN article saying the Chevy Bolt's incredible sales shows that people want to buy a low-priced electric vehicle, right? They've sold less than 40,000 of them. In the same time period, Toyota sold over 400,000 RAV4s, and that's only one of their models. And they were just plain old cars. They weren't electric cars, right? They keep pushing this electric crap on people. Oh, everybody wants it. It's a spit in the bucket in the automotive business. 40,000 cars in a year. That is nothing. Most cars, if they sell 40,000 a year, they're seen as a massive failure. They didn't sell enough of them. But granted, the average electric car in the United States costs 76 grand, 76,000 bucks. The base Bolt starts at 28,600. Yeah, try buying one at that. They always mark everything up, but it's a lot less than the base of the average electric car. Yeah, they sold some of them. It isn't a huge thing yet. And of course, the hilarious thing is, how's it going to hold up over time? Nobody knows. And this is GM's old technology. This is the Bolt, right? This isn't their Ultium battery system yet. It's their old system that they're not going to be making for all that much longer. You go 5 years from now, well, I need a battery for that. Oh, we don't make those anymore. Go find a battery yourself. We don't care. Understand one thing about car manufacturers. There's a myth out there that they have to make parts for 10 years. It's a total myth. There is no such law. The only law is while cars are under warranty, there have to be parts available to fix the cars under warranty. And the thing is, it doesn't say they even have to make the parts themselves. They can buy them from a third party if they want, as long as there's parts available. And that's only during the period of warranty. After the warranty, they don't have to build anything. So they stop making these things. They're not going to be making batteries and stuff for them, right? Now you can't get a battery for it, which kind of reminds me of something I talked about a few days ago. One of you viewers sent me a really nice email, and they showed me a picture of all these abandoned electric cars in France. The government bought them for the civil servants. They all broke, and the batteries cost so much, and they couldn't find them, that they scrapped them on. There's a field just full of these electric vehicles because they didn't pan out. And them trying to pretend with CNN that, oh, look at the great sales, they're going to sell millions of them. Just more hyperbole trying to push this electric crap on people that who knows if it's even going to make it. And they're still very small numbers. Like I say, 40,000 of them they're bragging about. The same year, Toyota sold 400-something thousand RAV4s. To me, the numbers show it all. Follow the money. Don't follow the BS that these media people throw out. Shelly472 says, the radio screen is rebooting perpetually my 2012 GMC Terrain. It is 155,000 miles. The screen goes blank, look like it's rebooting, it doesn't work. Sometimes you shut it off. There's a knocking noise in the radio, but not all the time. We check the fuses, they're fine. What can we do? Realize those screens are crap. They're made in China. They're garbage. They break all the time on GM. That's just what happens. You have to replace the stupid thing. My advice is, there's this garbage. Get an aftermarket Android or something. I like the Androids. I got one. Voice Matrix is phenomenal. It's 150 bucks. It still works great for phones, music, you name it. It does everything, right? There's only one other thing it could be, and pray it's that. If your battery is starting to get weak, it will make the screen go on and off and do all kinds of squirrely things. Like if you got a clock, sometimes the clock will be changing time and you look like, I didn't change the clock time. It's the wrong time. Well, it's the wrong time because your battery's getting weak. It screws up the memory on a clock and then it starts resetting. Find a guy like me or any honest auto parts store, have them load test your battery. You may need a battery. Great, that'll fix your whole thing. If not, it's a screen, and they're garbage screens made in China and they break all the time. But try the battery. It could be the battery. They'll do weird things when your battery's going bad. Also check the battery terminals. Grab them. You turn them and they wiggle and they're loose. Loose terminal will do that too. So check that first. But it's probably the radio because they're cheap junk made in China. Joey says, the speedometer isn't working on my Nissan. Changed all the hub assemblies on it. Now my speedometer doesn't work. The odometer works, but the speedometer doesn't help. It's probably a complete coincidence that you changed the hub assemblies. And now the speedometer doesn't work, but the odometer does. The odometer and the speedometer both work on the same circuit. If, let's say, a sensor broke, the speedometer wouldn't work, but the odometer wouldn't either because they get the same feed. If your odometer is showing how many miles you drove, but the speedometer doesn't work, it's just a coincidence, and your speedometer itself has just broken. And it's not the speed sensor, any of them. Some of them have 3 or 4 different different speed sensors. But it's not the speed sensor, because if it's the speed sensor, your odometer wouldn't go either. So your dash part is broken. Now they cost a small fortune. A lot of guys, they'll go to a junkyard and buy a used dash for $75 or something and just replace the whole dash. That's what most guys do. You price what a dash costs brand new at a dealer and you'll crap in your pants. If that odometer's working but the speedometer isn't, you got a problem in the dash. That's the only thing that can do that, because otherwise you'd have no odometer too. Then it could be one of the sensors, but it's not, because your odometer's working. Diego Ortiz says they got a 2000 LX470. The steering wheel keeps turning to the left. I let go, it doesn't pull left or right, and the car runs straight. But I've taken it to alignments, and after 4 or so months, the wheel starts to turn to the left, little by little. I get it aligned again so the wheel's straight, and then it keeps going back eventually to the left. Well, I can tell you right now, you got some problem in the front end. It's wearing so that the wheel has to turn to the left to go straight. You have front end wear. Forget the alignment shop you went to. Go somewhere else. You have some type of front end problem. Something's wearing. And as it wears, then the wheel is turning in a different way, so the steering wheel has to go that angle in order for it to go straight. You have some type of front end problem. Could be a control arm's wearing, the bushings in it. Could be the ball joints wearing. Something is wearing. From my experience with those Lexus, it's often the control arm bushings, and you can't replace the bushings. You got to replace the whole control arm. They make it sit right, and as they wear, the bushings wear, and then they twist a little. I mean, I'm exaggerating, not like that, just a few thousandths of an inch, but it's enough to make the steering wheel go to the side. You get it fixed, and then months later it goes back again. There's something wearing, and you need to get it fixed. Go to a different alignment shop. Those guys obviously are not worth their salt. They did not check your front end correctly. Dennis Ronan says, Scotty, what do you think of a C5 Corvette 6B with the LS1? Is it better to get a garage queen or a car that has been driven, since it's more than 20 years old now? Truthfully, they're sitting in a garage. Ain't gonna hurt anything. If you remember that old video that I had from ages ago where it starts up, so I rev up your engine, I'm in a Corvette with the side pipes and I do a burnout, right? That car sat for 20-something years in a guy's garage. Then he brought it to me to get it going, and they got it ran like a scalded ape. They won't go all that bad sitting. The guys that drive them all the time, they might burn things out, wear them out. If they're just sitting there, they're really not wearing. Old doesn't matter. They're fiberglass cars. They don't rust. They're fiberglass, right? Jeff Fortier says, I got a 2013 Dodge Ram I just bought. Scanner says P0456 small evap leak. Could it be the canister or gas cap? Of course it could be either. Try the gas cap and pray. Those systems are so complex. They have hoses going all over the place. They have a vacuum pump inside to test the systems. They are extremely complex systems to analyze. Change the gas cap, reset it, and pray it doesn't come back. Still comes back after you reset it and change the gas cap. You better take it to a guy like me with a scan tool that does bidirectional testing to see it, not just keep guessing, because the parts get expensive after that. The charcoal canister costs a fortune. Could be the vacuum pump that checks the system. Could be lots of things. It's a computer-run system. So pray it's the gas cap. IG says, is Royal Purple Max Clean any good? Royal Purple is a good company. They make high-end products, and their products are excellent. There's nothing wrong with them. They're a bit on the pricey side, especially their engine oils and stuff, but they make pretty good products. I've tried them. I have no complaints about it, and guys I know who race cars swear by it. Guys that used to use Mobil 1, and then they switched because they found out that the oil temperature started getting hotter with Mobil 1. They claim that they didn't used to, but now it does. They think they changed the formula. All they know is they were using Mobil 1, and the temperature was always fine, and all of a sudden it started getting hotter using the same oil. So they figured they must be changing the formula, and they switched to Royal Purple, and the temperature went back down. So they do make very good products. It's a good company. Brandon St. Clair says, our Walmart car battery's good. That depends. How long they've been sitting there. Batteries are like eggs. They go bad over time. When I was a young mechanic, my father's gas station in Lewiston, New York, we bought batteries. They were vacuum sealed. There was nothing in them. We'd break the vacuum seal, we'd pour Baz or acid in them, and charge them for an hour, and then put them in the customer's car, and away they went. But that's inconvenient. Everybody wants it instantly, buy the battery, put it in, and drive away, right? So now they fill them at the factory. As soon as they fill them, they start losing their lifespan. The acid starts eating through the lead, and eventually they short out. They have dates on them. Sometimes at Walmart, they're sitting there for months and months and months, and they're worn out. Sometimes they're a year old. Learn how to read the dates and get one that's a month old or less, a fresh one that's got this month's date on it, not 2 months ago, 3 months ago, or 6 months ago, because they're full of acid and they're going bad. Now, if it's a new battery, they guarantee them they're good batteries. There's nothing wrong with them. Walmart doesn't make them. They hardly make anything. They have a company make them. They buy them from them. But make sure you get the date. You need a fresh one. because they do go bad just sitting there, rotting away. Ty Frazier, how long have you had that hooded jean jacket? Had a couple like it. My boy stole them from me years ago. Yeah, kind of a funny story. The original one I had as teenagers, long gone, of course, shredded. Who knows what happened to it, right? Then, you notice I had one for years, but it was fading. The cuffs were coming off. And then my wife found me a similar one on Amazon. It's an Italian design, but of course it's made in China like everything else. You can still get them, and the one I have now is great because the hood on buttons and the liner on zips. So I can wear it in the summer, wear it in the light weather, and now that winter's coming, I can wear them and film in the winter. They're real handy jackets, you know. And yes, they still make them. Go to Amazon. You look far enough, you'll always find something. Like these jean shirts. It's hard to buy them anymore. But I find them, then I buy the jean shirts. I have a woman in Tennessee sew my name and everything on them. If you look hard enough with the internet, you can find anything. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.